I thought that today's video would be a good opportunity to take you guys through an easy homemaker day in the life where we're recovering from the holidays, we're taking down decorations, we're putting things away, tidying, getting some kitchen essentials done like making some broth, and working on my sourdough starter, making dinner, everything that needs to get done to get the house back up and moving. I'm sure for a lot of you guys with the holidays, that time right after feels a little bit chaotic and everything kind of just feels like a mess. I know it's how it feels for me and for our house, so I know I really needed to just completely decompress everything, put things away pretty soon after Christmas, organize everything, tidy. So you see me doing a lot of that today. I am firstly working on some vegetable broth, which I have really been needing to do for quite a while. I try to be pretty consistent about saving all my veggie scraps, freezing them, putting them in a freezer bag, and then when I have enough, I will put it all in my Dutch oven and make some vegetable broth. I have tried in the past to freeze this, and it ultimately does not turn out. I overfill my jars, they crack, and I'm left with just a frozen block of vegetable broth. So I am just going to put this eventually in the fridge and let it hang out for a couple of days and make some soup later on in the week. But I would love to know if you have any tips or tricks. I did do a little bit of research into canning broth, and I guess you can't do it with a traditional water bath, but you can pressure can, I think is what it's called. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. I am going to definitely try my hand maybe later on this month or early next month in getting some canning started. My wonderful, wonderful husband bought me a handful of things to really help me with all of my homesteading needs, one of which being a canning kit. Very excited to use it. I have a pot now, I have all the tools, and I'm very excited to get that going in the new year. I was also so kindly gifted some of the KitchenAid pasta attachments along with a flour grinder attachment for my KitchenAid. All those things make me so excited to start stocking up on some homemade bits and pieces so I can have a nice little mini stockpile going for our kitchen. For Christmas Eve, I made about 6 loaves of sourdough and then put my starter in the fridge and kind of forgot about it for a while. I think it really needed a break, so I am busting that back out, giving it a good feed and getting it nice and happy and full so I can get started on a new fresh loaf of sourdough bread. One of the more recent tips or tricks that I have learned is to mark my starter on the jar on the side with a Sharpie, and that way I can actually see the rise of the starter, which might seem a little silly, but sometimes I find that my starter has just such a slow rise that I can't tell by my own naked eye if it is rising or not. So it really does help me out in that sense. And I also decided, which I do every once in a while, it really needed to be done, which is oil my cutting boards. I will link down below the Booze Block cutting oil that I use, but every couple months or so I will take this out and just rehydrate all of my cutting boards. This is kind of a get some stuff done that needs to get done a little while ago, but also tidy up the home days where I just stayed at home, comfy clothes, and took care of the home. And I ended up here with 2 full jars of some golden delicious broth that, as I mentioned, I will use for some soup later on in the week. I am not sponsored by Brooklinen. I would love to be. However, I did invest in some of their sheets, and so since the Christmas season is over, I really wanted to just give our room a good refresh, and I will have linked down below the sheets that I purchased. I love the striping on our comforter. I am also not the kind of person who enjoys a loose sheet on the bed, but I thoroughly enjoy this one, and I love the color. This indigo color really just makes me so happy, and I think it matches our headboard pretty well. And as I mentioned earlier, a lot of what this video was tidying up and cleaning up from Christmas. I will insert a clip right here of what our kitchen and living room looked like following Christmas. I believe this was on Christmas morning after I had made breakfast. It was chaos, and I cannot work and try to organize, and I can't get my own thoughts collected when a lot of what I see visually around me is disorganized. So it was one of the many first things I decided to do. As soon as Christmas was over, I went through, organized, put all the gifts where they needed to be under the tree, and then from there went through everything step by step and went and decided what will go where, what I need to throw away in terms of trash or garbage or anything like that. hope this video gives you maybe some of the motivation that you need to just take a day, tidy up, put on a podcast, which is what I had on in the background. I prefer to listen to podcasts now more that I'm a little bit older. I've been thoroughly enjoying the Office Ladies podcast. I have gone through and watched The Office multiple times, and they have a podcast that is just wonderful to listen to. So I listen to that 9 times out of 10 when I have a lot of work to do and stuff to get completed around the house. But I hope you enjoyed today's video and you took the day to get things done on your homestead as well as I did things on mine. If you enjoyed this content, please subscribe. I make 2 new videos every single week on all things homemaking, sourdough, and country living. I appreciate you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you would like to, and I will see you in my next video.